And Australia.
Tasmanian steeplechaser Angzet, a former show jumper, will be the crowd favourite in Thursday's Grand Annual at Warrnambool. Dan Malicki is covering the big three-day carnival and reports it's the 10-year-old with only 3 starts who's grabbing the headlines after finishing second in today's Brierly Steeplechase.
Angzet is a genuine racing success story. The gelding, who has spent the last 4 years competing in 3-day equestrian events, had never been to the races until 2 months ago. Now a veteran of 3 starts, Angzet had won his only 2 jumps races. Angzet has been set for Thursday's Grand Annual here at Warrnambool. But first the gelding had to get through today's traditional lead-up, the Brierly Steeple.
He's just an honest steeplechaser. He loves jumping. It doesn't matter how long or how fast or whatever, he just loves jumping.
Angzet was the unknown quantity in today's $16,000 Brierly Steeplechase. But after sitting in second placing all the way, the Tasmanian 10-year-old was challenged by Bourbon Boy at the last jump.
It's Bourbon Boy clear of Angzet, and on the inside, Bowhunter at the last jump. Over he goes safely, Bourbon Boy. Angzet didn't jump it too well, but Bourbon Boy has got it won in the run home. He's too good for them. And Bourbon Boy coming down to the line to win nicely. Bourbon Boy will win it by about 4 lengths. Angzet will be second. A length away third, Bowhunter, then Commission.
Angzet finished second in today's Brierly Steeplechase, and the horse, who was used to competing in 6-mile cross-country races, looks sure to be suited by the 5,500 metres of the Grand Annual on Thursday.
The owners of the horse were trying to get a top 3-day eventing horse, but he just wouldn't settle for the dressage, so I thought I'd try him over the steeples, and maybe we'll have a top steeplechaser.
And Bourbon Boy paying $1.80 the win, 90 cents to place. Angzet $1.40, Bowhunter $2.05. The trifecta, 6, 9 and 5, $206.20. To boxing.
Is 3UZ, so linger with us for a while. For the latest in news, the greatest in sports, time checks and weather reports, and all of your favorite music. Over 3UZ in Melbourne.
The 9 race card. Feature event of the afternoon was the Warrnambool. Plush Embassy, the popular elect, as we join Brian Martin's call of the finish.
Down to the 300-metre mark from Plush Embassy, Kennedy, New Orange, Nip of Silver, then Northern Copy, but Crush in front with about 100 to go. He's about 3 in front. Plush Embassy trying to peg him back. Crush has got a big lead over Plush Embassy, who's trying to get to him, but Crush is going to hang on, and Crush wins the Warrnambool, about 3/4 on the post to Plush Embassy. Third, Kennedy at a photo.
Crush hanging on to win after hitting the front some 800 metres from home. The 11th win from 41 starts for the 5-year-old Adelaide gelding, and all roads lead to the bull tomorrow, of course, for the 1990 Grand Annual. And Jen, let's hope they have a good day for it weather-wise.
His manager, Ted Walker.
It was the day of the daredevils, those fearless jockeys who will ride in the Grand Annual Steeplechase at Warrnambool. The Grand Annual, 5 gruelling kilometres and 33 steeples. More jumps than the world's most famous steeplechase, the English Grand National. Neil Kearney has followed the riders over the past few weeks, and his reaction, who'd be a jumps jockey?
Here we are out there breaking our necks to earn a couple of bucks. Why? Because we love it. How many bones would you have broken?
I don't know. I suppose about 20.
Is it worth it?
I love it, mate.
This beauty resulted from a steeplechase fall. Not in the race, but in a fight afterwards. Still, to Laurie Poltridge, what's a few stitches on a face like this?
Squashed 2 vertebrae last August, couple of broken ankles, dislocated kneecap, 4 broken arms, all my hands, all the bones snapped off in my hand, about 6 or 7 collarbones.
Other than that, you've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
So who would be a steeplechase jockey? Well, this is one of the 33 jumps for the Warrnambool Grand Annual. And each jockey gets $90 a ride. So for clearing this, you get $2.80. The wild men of steeplechasing are as much a part of Warrnambool as Fletcher Jones. They've been jumping in the Grand Annual since 1872. And yesterday's Brierly Steeple, the traditional lead-up to the annual, is as much a test for horsemen as it is for their gallant steeds.
It's tough. It's real tough. It's the toughest race in Australia.
Butch Londrigan has won the Grand Annual 4 times, and when tough men like Butch are flailing leather, the steeplechase is no place for a nice girl like this.
Racing attracts a lot of nice girls, they tell me.
But not as steeplechase jockeys.
Oh, well, I enjoy jumping. So
Diane Parrish would be a good each way in the fashions on the field, but this 23-year-old from Longford, Tasmania, is aboard an old show jumper named Angzet. With all the innocence of a first-timer, Diane feels that she and Angzet are made for each other.
It's the sort of horse you can't rein up a lot when he's jumping. You know, you've got to give him hips ahead.
The Brierly has 19 jumps. That's 14 less than the Grand Annual. But it's a tough test, and even the wild men are thoughtful. All, it seems, but Diane.
Got to stay calm, that's the main thing in these long races. I'll look calm anyway.
2 lengths away, close handy is Angzet, running a good race.
As always, the Brierly is an awesome spectacle.
It's Bourbon Boy clear of Angzet and on the inside.
And Diane, on Angzet, runs a bold second in a slashing trial for the Grand Annual. This time, horses and riders have all stayed upright, and it seems the only casualty is the track.
And next in sport with Stephen Quartermain, the Battler trying to make it back-to-back Grand Annuals, and boxing's night of...
Grand Annual Steeplechase is the most challenging horse race in Australia, and tomorrow it will have special significance for one Aussie battler. Shane Fisher will put the final touches on his gallant little chaser Dunroe, who came from obscurity to win last year's event.
To owner-trainer Shane Fisher, the 7-year-old is known as Dunny. 12 months ago, Dunroe carved his name into Warrnambool racing history by winning the Grand Annual Steeplechase. Fisher prepares Dunny on the beach just outside of Warrnambool in the Irish town of Killarney. The 28-year-old trainer was looking for a horse 2 years ago that he could mould into a top chaser.
Well, he's small, he's tough, and he's safe. And if he can make a jumper like that, well, I'll start looking for smaller ones because, again, I'd had big horses and little horses seem to just take a tumble and get up again and away they go again.
Dunroe finished unplaced in yesterday's Brierly Steeple, but the gelding was as bright as a button this morning as he waded through salt water. Dunroe is aiming to become only the 3rd horse in the last 30 years to win 2 Grand Annuals. The Grand Annual is only for the toughest of steeplechasers. 5,500 metres and 33 gruelling fences, even more than the famous Grand National at Aintree. But for Dunroe, he's been there, done that.
Dunroe doing enough, and he's the better stayer. Dunroe. Dunroe wins the Grand Annual Steeple by a length.
Fisher treasures last year's win, the biggest in his short training career.
You know, I was elated. It was amazing, I think.
America.
You're listening to is 3UZ. So linger with us for a while. For the latest in news, the greatest in sports, time checks and weather reports, and all of your favorite music over 3UZ in Melbourne.
No Hoper on the flat completed the big jumps double by winning today's Grand Annual at Warrnambool. Only 3 weeks ago, the 10-year-old won the Great Eastern at Oakbank. It was also a big day for jockey Laurie Poltridge, who made it back-to-back victories after scoring last year on Dunroe.
Every man and his dog came to watch Australia's most spectacular horse race, the Grand Annual. This year's field was open, but Dunroe, who won the race last year, was the sentimental favourite, while Bourbon Boy, who won the Brierly on Tuesday, was the popular elect on the bookies' boards. The 11 starters made a spectacular sight as they jumped 33 fences and 5,500 metres. The Calvin Burke-trained Bourbon Boy, who was formerly owned by Sheikh Mohammed, didn't last long though. After negotiating almost a lap, he came to grief.
Mr. Red, Bourbon Boy's gone. Had to happen. Bourbon Boy's lost his rider at the first of the treble in the straight.
As Commission Red and Spanish Minstrel were making their runs, Dunroe, who was travelling like a winner, charged to the front in the final lap until 1,200 metres from home.
Then Spanish Minstrel is gone. Dunroe's fallen over. He fell down the hill. And he's out of the race, last year's winner. And they come down towards the last of the double. At Toza, Comicato's in front. Coming in at hard was Contract, the 12-year-old. Look at the ground, Spanish Minstrel made up. He's gone to second. Mick Patton saved 5 lengths.
Commission Red stormed to the front on the turn, and jockey Laurie Poltridge was looking for back-to-back wins in the Grand Annual.
Here's the last of 33. Straighten up Commission Red. He's up and over. 5 in front. Spanish Minstrel trying gallantly in second placing. 5 away running on was Action Boy. But Commission Red is going on to score in the Grand Annual. Commission Red wins by 6 lengths.
I really felt sorry for Connections of Dunrow when he fell, because he looked to be going pretty well when he went. And they're the greatest sportsmen in the game, those fellas, and that. You know, they said before, if we can't win it, I hope like hell you can. And I know they really meant it. But Red stayed on his feet, didn't he? And that's what it's all about.
Meanwhile, only 40 minutes earlier, Harry White snatched his 6th Warrnambool Cup victory with South Australian galloper Down the Pitch.
Pressman's Choice and Darren Gouchy down the pitch just in front. Pressman's Choice comes again at the post but didn't make it. Down the pitch, a short half-head, Pressman's Choice.
And let's have a look at the results from the 2 big races. Race 6 was the Warrnambool Cup, 4, 1 and 10 the numbers. Harry White continuing his great strike rake in distance races, knocking off the favourite Pressman's Choice. Race 7, the Grand Annual, saw Commission Red complete the big jumps double after winning the Great Eastern in Easter. Spanish Minstrel and Action Boy filling the minor placings. A new surf.
7 boys gone, the favourite's gone. The second or the first in the straight, the second time around.
As the field negotiated the climb on top of Cox's Hill, last year's winner Dunrow and jockey Willie Harnett were chasing their 2nd annual.
Commission Red well back, Shane's Grey Boy, Action Boy, and last of all, as Dunrow crashes to the ground at the fence in Granders. He was a mile in front and he's made a blue and he's out of the race, and the boy throws the whip away in disgust, Willie Harnett.
In the straight, and with 2 of his major rivals out of business, the Great Eastern Steeple winner Commission Red was about to complete a unique double.
Here's the last coming up. Over it, Commission Red's over it safely.
Commission Red and Laurie Poltridge taking the Grand Annual from Spanish Minstrel and Action Boy 3rd. Earlier, Harry White was looking for his 6th win in the Warrnambool Cup aboard Down the Pitch. The favourite, Pressman's Choice. Here's Brian Blackmore with the closing stages.
The leader now down the pitch. Darrow Kingham on the inside, Pressman's Choice. Tropine Queen and Go Jimmy. It's down the pitch and Pressman's Choice. Down the pitch just in front. Pressman's Choice fighting back. They hit it. Down the pitch and nose.
And that's sport and Warrnambool for another year, Brian.
Great finish there. Tremendous. Thank you very much. And now to Tatslotto, where a family of 6 from Avondale Heights has scooped division.
Going by Poltridge, Commission Red is going to win the Grand Annual. He's sweeping away, and at the judge, it's Commission Red by 5, 6 lengths. Spanish Minstrel second.
And so it was back-to-back annual wins for Laurie Poltridge, the winner trained by Jim Houlihan and well supported at 13-4. Action Boy a place getter for the 2nd year in a row. Peter Landy, 7 Nightly News.
Thank you, Pete. That's all in sport.
Thank you, Sam.